What's up, guys? This is the first episode of Open House Podcast. That's right, Open House Podcast with me, and say hi to your people.
Good morning, everyone.
Nope, it's 12:46.
Ah,
12:46.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, so this is our first introductory welcome to the Open House Podcast. I'm Michael Blanco. That's Kayla Blanco.
Kayla Blanco.
What we decided to create here is this mixture of it's open house, obviously, because you guys don't know we're both realtors, so open house, but also because we film it at our house, and it's about being open about life, about business, about anything and everything. So I thought open house was a good podcast name. What do you think about that name? She's never heard that name. I mean, she's heard of an open house. What I'm saying is the open house podcast. She hasn't heard it until right now.
Yeah. I think it's a good topic to start on.
What do you mean? No, that's not. I mean, I'm saying, what do you think about the house? The name of the podcast?
Oh, open house.
Yeah, Open House Podcast. What do you think about the name?
Yeah, it's fitting.
Okay, so back to school is. I was trying to think of a theme to start the podcast, and I was just kind of thinking about school, and we're getting ready to go back to school at the time of this filming for us next week. I just thought I'd ask some questions to you about school and going back to school. What's your earliest memory of your first day of school? What's the first day of school for you? What's your earliest memory of first day of school?
Yeah, I guess I can remember bits and pieces in kindergarten. I don't know if it was the first day of school, but maybe the first week. And of course, I don't remember any of my teachers' names, but I do remember how they looked. I remember the smells. And I remember some of the friends there that I met. Being excited about it, at least for preschool, I was excited about it. And then come first grade, a little more nerves, I think, but still excited about it. And getting ready part of it, that anticipation, meeting new friends and new environment. It was exciting until after that, it gets a little more nerve-wracking.
What were you scared about? I mean, does anything stand out? Like, oh, I was scared about this or that about school, or was it always like, oh, I can't wait?
I guess the scary part, I guess when you're very young, I didn't think about it much about making friends. I was always really social. There is moments I felt like I just missed mom too much. And that's the part that I would have my moments of sadness and sit there and get upset because I got my sweater dirty. But scary, I wouldn't say scary, just moments of a little emotional, missing home.
Okay, those are normal.
Yeah, how about for you?
Well, let's see. My earliest memory of my first day of school was, of course, kindergarten was my first memory. I remember being it's my first time ever away from my parents for a long period of time. I mean, I was away from my parents and my grandma would watch me, but in terms of like anybody I knew, that was the longest I've ever been away from anybody I knew. And it was one of those old schools that the hallways were enclosed. It wasn't like an outdoor hallway. It was West Park Elementary in Tracy, California. So it's old school, long hallway with all the classrooms off the hallway. And I just remember the kindergarten was at the very end of when you first walked in the door. So just the long walk, and we showed up a little late, like we were late. So it wasn't like I had time to play around with my friends. People are already in class, and so that made it worse. And I just remember my mom dropping me off, and I guess I knew that was my first day, but it was just like, I knew that she was leaving me, but it was just like, she's like, okay, because she stuck around for a little while, but she had to go to work. She went to work a little late, so she was like, okay. And then I just remember like this dread coming over me and crying. Like I was like, don't leave me. And I can see that she had to go, but she also felt bad. But I think her strategy was like, just go, just leave, just go. Don't even feed into it.
I can see your eyes tearing up.
So, yeah. No. And so, but luckily I had made a friend. Somebody befriended me like pretty quick after that. They saw I was sad and somebody came up to me, started talking to me, and his name was Joaquin. And then of course, like most kids, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, I was just like, forgot all about it. But I just remember that first part was just like, I remember just going, please, please don't leave me. I'm sure,
Uh,
looking back, I'm sure as a dad now, I would have been like, oh my
yeah, rips your
gosh.
heart apart.
But yeah, I was 10 minutes later. I never even thought about it after that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was my experience, my first day back. Just double check if everything's still recording. Yes. And then let's see. We talked about earliest memory. What was your favorite back to school outfit? Do you remember any of the outfits specifically that you're like, oh, I remember this one outfit I had ready to go? Because that was a big deal back in the day. Not so much it feels like kids just go to school in t-shirts and flip-flops and pajama pants. But when we were going to school, it was like, oh,
No,
we had our outfit
that
laid out like the day
yeah, the day
before. We
before,
went
yeah,
back to
planned
school
out.
shopping. We had our shoes. We didn't wear my parents didn't let me wear my shoes, my school shoes until school started. So I had it all laid out on my bed like I was ready to go. So what was your, is there one outfit, one specific grade that you're like, oh, I remember this outfit I was waiting to wear it. Is there anything that sticks out where you're like ready for your outfit, your first day outfit?
First day outfit? No, not really. Not I can remember. Because I mean, it was a big deal to go, school shopping, but my parents were the kind where you still kind of recycled the same clothes from the previous school year. It still fits.
You're not going
Um,
through any major growth spurts?
no, not me. No. Um,
I'll tell you one for me. It wasn't so much a first day of school, which first day of school fits were a big deal for me. But I
yeah.
remember mine was after the holiday break, coming back from Christmas vacation.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that
yeah.
I had gotten a little bit smarter as I like my one instead of like you come to that age like fifth grade, sixth grade, you're not looking for toys, you're looking. So I'm like, oh, this is my opportunity to ask for clothes, more clothes, and I
Mm-hmm.
had like this is when like I started like you get in like sixth grade. This was like 90, she's 91, 92 maybe. Yeah, I was about 11 or 12, I think, in fifth grade. Yeah, around there, right? Yeah, 11, because, yeah, 12.
I think I was
Yeah.
11 going to sixth grade,
So
something like that.
Jordans, Guess, all these brands started making, like, you started noticing all these brands. So I wanted Guess, black Guess overalls. Like, I wanted them so bad.
Oh,
And overalls were big, right? So I
right.
asked for overalls. Um, and bum equipment. Bum equipment was huge. And so I came back after Christmas with my black Guess overalls with one button to
Oh yeah,
one
you're
up, one
cool.
down, with my bum equipment, like long sleeve shirt slash hoodie,
Oh,
and like my low top penny loafer leather shoes with white socks, of course, and my starter hat and
wait a minute. You're wearing penny
like
loaf.
leather shoes, like leather dress shoes almost, like low top.
You're wearing those with your
I thought it
overalls.
was sick. I thought it was sick. I'm gonna put a picture up right here, which what shoes I'm talking about. I'll find some on the line. But anyways, and I had my starter hat with my bangs popping out of my starter hat because we always styled the bangs around our hat.
Uh,
And I came like first day after Christmas break, and I thought, oh, watch out, I'm coming in hot. Like I thought it was like, oh, who's this dude coming in with the? I thought it was. I couldn't wait.
you were
Couldn't
it.
wait. Uh, did you love or did you hate school shopping? Was there ever a point where you started hating school shopping, or did you always like it, or did you never like school shopping? What was your experience for school shopping?
Um, I would say probably I'm the same way now. I'm not really crazy about shopping in general. Um, yeah, it was more of a love hate. You're excited about getting new clothes or fits for school, but then trying on and being out and about and going store to store, of course, that was just never fun for me. Maybe
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I think there's different. Like I like school shopping, but there came to a point where my parents were just fed up with me and my shenanigans during school, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"We're gonna dress you. No more baggy pants. No more baggy anything." And my dad took
Oh,
me
fun.
shopping one time after I got bad grades the previous year, and it was all Bugle Boy. We went to Mervin's, and I got Bugle Boy button-up shirts and slacks. He said, "No more No more. At the time, I think I started. This is like 93, 94. So I wearing Dickies and
Oh yeah,
white tees and Ben Davis shirts, and he didn't like where that was. Yeah, I
wasn't
was trying to
having
wear
it.
Cortezes or the original Reeboks, and he
Reebok
was
and
and I
those.
just so like I think he was like, "You're not going to dress like this and get bad grades." If you got good grades, but so he got rid of
Yeah,
all my baggy clothes, like literally threw
that was
everything
gonna
away, and it's
influence
like
you.
I'm gonna dress you. And he bought me. I wore Bugle Boy khakis, like no,
Chinos. No.
like with the silly ones with like pockets and stuff, and yeah,
Pleated
and everything
kind
was
of
this Bugle Boy like
pants.
dress up. He's like, I want to see you in a
Yeah.
collar and button up and slacks and no more jeans and. Oh, I just remember
That would
going back
change.
and feeling like I'm the biggest nerd in the world. I just felt like that. I just like it's
Mm.
my fault. I
Yeah.
got what I got. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't make the
yeah,
grade.
he didn't play. He didn't play. So
Mm-mm.
that's when I hated going back to school shopping because I knew it was going to be all bad. Um, did you guys have any back to school traditions? Like, did you? Some people like go on one more vacation or go on an outing or before school starts. I don't think we did. I think we just went on one vacation during the summer and then we just hung out at the house all summer. But we didn't have any back to school traditions, like anything specific we did. Some people like go out to breakfast their first back to school if they have time with their family. That's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
cool.
special.
I think that's something I would
Yeah.
like to do. Go to have breakfast before your first day. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of school, what kind of student were you?
I guess depends what grade. Um, for the most part, I was a good
Like by the time you
student.
actually had to start getting grades and studying and stuff like that, like were
Mm-hmm.
you overall pretty good or spoiler alert,
Good. I would say
we
I
both
wasn't
ended
on.
up in continuation school.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I think overall I was a good student and
yeah.
applied myself. I think when it came to probably from I would say probably sixth grade. It's getting a little playing around too much, I guess, trying to be cool and hang out with friends and school, became
Yeah.
secondary.
Yeah, I would say same for me. Like when I actually paid attention, I did pretty good. But my little school breakdown was we moved so much and I moved to so many different schools that I just worried about socializing. I was just trying to make friends. And that's all I really ended up doing. I ended up going to like K through third was some stability. Like I went like the story. I went
Same
same school
place,
from
yeah.
K through third. And then we moved during the summertime and I went to fourth grade at one school. Then we moved out after that year and I went to a different school in fifth grade. And then in Tracy, sixth, seventh, and eighth is middle school. So then I went to a different school and we had moved to the other side of town. So everybody I went to school with in fifth grade, no, I take that back. Fifth grade, there's people who went to my middle school. Met a lot of friends that I stayed with. And again, sixth, seventh, and eighth, I got to stay in the same school, but we did move during eighth grade year. So there was a point where third grade one school, fourth grade one school, fifth grade one school, sixth grade one school because of the moving and then the moving from middle school or grammar school to middle school. And then eighth grade
Hmm.
year we moved
So fourth, fifth, and sixth was different
fourth,
schools.
fifth. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth
Different,
were all different
all different
schools.
schools.
That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, that's tough.
But what's cool, and I ended up making friends with people all over both sides of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when I moved eighth grade, I got to finish eighth grade at Monte Vista, and then all those people from Monte Vista were going to West High in Tracy, and then we had moved, so I was going to Tracy High. So all those people I just spent 3 years with, but I ended up hooking up and meeting my friends that I met in kindergarten and mostly kindergarten through third grade all went to Tracy High. So then I knew them. Like they're way older. I hadn't seen them in years, but it's like, oh, I know this guy. I know this guy. And then I played football my freshman year. So a lot of guys were on the football team. So that was pretty cool. Meeting those people again. So I mean, it helped,
Yeah.
and then, so that's freshman year. And then sophomore year, we moved to Manteca. So then I got to start all over again. And that's not even, you don't know anybody at all. There was one kid from church that went there, but he quickly left and went to continuation. And then the next year, so did I. So, And it wasn't because I was doing bad things, just because I was so far behind. Because all I did was hang out and try to meet friends that
Yeah.
first year, and got behind, and that's what happened. That's my story. Um, let's see. I only got a couple more questions. Any teachers? It can be also not just teachers, but maybe I know that there was what do they call it? Not your teacher, but your guidance counselor. Teachers, guidance counselors that made a difference early on for you.
Teachers, guidance counselor, yeah. Let me see. I think, every teacher, and it sounds silly, but every teacher to me had something that they poured into me or that I carried with me,
Yeah.
right? That was positive. I'm not saying negative, positive. But the ones that really stood out to me, I would say, I think, because when you're in junior high, you have so many you start with different classes, different teachers. So it was hard to really build any kind of relationships with anybody. But come to high school, I think that's when it became more. And then, like you said, I ended up going to continuation school because a
And where
similar
was this at
story.
again?
The school,
On school, yeah.
Plaza Robles in Stockton. Shout out Plaza Robles and staff
Shout out to
and my guidance
Calitech in
counselor.
Antigua. Calitech.
Yeah, and I think continuation schools have a bad rap, but um, they work as hard as the kids at regular school. At least we did, and the teachers were awesome. And I think it came to a point where I was able to choose to go back. Who was Bear Creek? That was the high school
Yeah.
I went to when I came back from Chicago. But similar story where you're behind. I went and spoke to the counselor at Bear Creek, and I told her I'm pretty sure I'm behind. I need to catch up, and so that's why I went to Plaza Robles. But when I was able to go back, I decided to stay because what I really enjoyed from that school was the smaller
Yeah.
groups, smaller classrooms. There's not. I didn't feel overwhelmed, and I think that was huge. Going from junior high campus to a high school, and it's 1,000 plus
Yeah.
kids. That you just feel like you just get lost in the crowd. And so I think in high school, the teachers that stood out to me were, a lot of them were special to me, but the ones that really, really just left me like little nuggets for like life now has to be Miss Lopez, Mr. Hutchins, and my guidance counselor, Miss Warmerdown.
What year was this?
And
Freshman, sophomore,
freshman, freshman year. Oh no, I take that back. No,
sophomore year.
sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year. That's when I started going there. I think it was. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Teachers that really made a difference early on made a difference. I know teachers who didn't make a difference. That I remember they were really mean and just not really what a teacher should be. They
They
shouldn't be
shouldn't be
teachers.
teachers.
But in terms of like that really made a difference early on. I'm trying to think. I've had so many. Miss Gonzalez, and what's funny is her daughter was good friends with my sister, so she had come to the house to drop off her daughter a few times and talk to my mom. So it was like weird having your teacher like know your mom outside of school. And
Out
then
of
when I got to
school.
school, she would look at me. If I get in trouble, she'd look at me like, "Don't make me talk to your mom." Like so it was like, but she was on me. She was on me. She didn't let me mess around. She was real. She didn't take it easy on me because she knew my mom and her daughter and my sister are good friends. She was on me. So I remember her looking out for me and making sure that I got what I needed to get done. That's the year that we did. No. We had projects that year. That was like when I had, which is funny, my state was Illinois for my state project for
Oh.
fifth grade, and had another Springfield was the capital, and I had to learn all about it. And of course, that was like the Bulls were, the team that everybody used to. So like it was cool. It's like,
They were
oh,
hot.
Chicago Bulls are from. So anyways, that was the
Yeah.
fifth grade year. So she made a big difference, and then sixth, seventh, and eighth, nothing really stands out. Ninth grade, yeah, nothing really stands out. And then, yeah, we had a couple of actually really good teachers at Cala. There were some who were just you know, put handouts and say fill your name at the top and turn it in when you're done, and we could just pretty much play dominoes and spades all day. And then there was other teachers who were like, "You guys need to get together," you know. So it was a guidance counselor. Um, he was on it. He was um,
What's
I,
his name?
I know his first name. We just called him. He was one of those cool teachers who just called me by my first name. His name was Pat.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know his last name. He's Pat. What's up, Pat? You know, he was cool. Um, but yeah, I remember him. But yeah, that's that. Let's see. Were you when it came to school? Were you like, yeah, I'm there to make friends, or hey, let's just get this over with? Like, I think I was a little
Mm.
bit of both. Like there was a lot of it. I was always down to make friends, but then towards the end when it was like I got my work permit to start working and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, like I knew I was so close to graduating early and getting going. Like
Yeah.
I was like, let's just get this over. Like I had an opportunity to go back to regular school, traditional school, back to East Union, and they're like, you can go back to East Union or you can finish early, like 6 months early, and be graduated after Christmas break. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'll finish early, start working full time at
Yeah.
McDonald's in Lathrop, the original one before they tore it down and rebuilt it. I met a lot of friends there
Yeah.
who were working there and going to school there. So yeah, I think by the time I was like getting ready to finish, I was like, I just want to get it over with. But like early on in school, I
Yeah.
always was down to make friends, and I was there for the social life for sure. How about you? Were you
Mm-hmm.
always a little bit of both?
Yeah. I guess I enjoyed school. I enjoy learning, of course, but yeah, like I said, sixth grade became more of a social thing for me. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to just be a just be part of whatever conversations were going on,
Yeah,
not schoolwork. But yeah, I think when it came down to the transition from, like I said, from junior high, well, even junior high, I think I for some reason I noticed that in huge crowds, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. And so I think adapting to that
yeah.
and adjusting to it, and the transition from campus to another, and then once, like, in high school, I went to like four different high schools, right, and moved back to California freshman year, and just
From Chicago.
having to pick up from
You're
Chicago, yeah,
seasoned in
having
Chicago.
to pick up was there for a few seasons, and if you know me well, you know that. Well, you don't have to know me well. That's one of my favorite teams,
Okay.
are Chicago Bears.
Okay.
But yeah, and then it became fun. I think I enjoyed it more once I was able to, leave Bear Creek, and then I think actually I
Oh,
homeschooled for
really?
a little bit, but I missed the social, yeah, but I missed the
Yeah.
social interactions, because you can only be alone for so long, and I wasn't able to work
Yeah.
yet, I don't think. So I missed that part of it. So yeah, I decided to go on campus, and then made friends there, and then being in a smaller settings, I think, was helpful for me. Uh, but I enjoyed it while I was there, and like similar thing like you were talking about, there's friends there from that I made in elementary, right? And then that also I seen again once I came back from Chicago to Bear Creek. And so that was nice to see familiar faces, even though I didn't have everybody in my classes, but that was helpful, at least to have some
Yeah.
faces that you're familiar with, people that you
Yeah.
know in some way. And then later, when I went to Plaza, some were there too, and it was a good experience for me. I can't say anything negative about Plaza Robles really in general. It was all
Yeah.
good
So that I
stuff.
was gonna ask you, how do you handle big transitions or new seasons? Relating to. But yeah, I think we both had our share
Yeah.
of transitions in terms of like going from school to school or moving. We moved so much, and
Mhm.
then it
Mhm.
affected our schooling. But I think that's where I'm not so much a big group audience person. Like I don't really like the spotlight if I'm in front of a big group. But you get me in a room of a couple people and that I don't know, and I'll by the end of wherever how long we're together, I'll know about them. They'll know about me. Like I'm good at interact because I had no choice. Like had to meet people
Yeah,
quick. I was
it
like,
pushed you.
I,
Yeah.
I found out pretty quick my sophomore year, my first day at East Union. I literally all day between classes would just walk around in a big circle around the whole campus, like I had to be like if I was going somewhere, just because I didn't want to hang out with myself. I didn't know
Yeah.
anybody,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the one I think we had two different lunches. So like the one friend I did know from church, he had a different lunch than me, and like we don't have the same lunch. So it's like I'm always walking somewhere, like, oh, I had somewhere to go, but really I was just walking in a big circle. And then after a while, I was just like,
Mm.
I can't keep on doing this. Like, and then you just forced to like have to get to know people. And the thing about Manteca is like there's so many K through eighth. I came from where it's K through fifth and then sixth, seventh, and eighth. So these groups of people, for
Consider
the most
junior
part,
high.
not all of
Yeah.
them, but a lot of them had gone to school from kindergarten all the way to eighth grade. So they already had their friends. Really,
Yeah. You
they
really
were already
know
good
them.
friends. They had
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
cliques, and it was just like they've been going to school since forever. And just like trying to break into that,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing anybody. But eventually, I found my group, my people, and they were all girls because by that age, guys are just trying to be cool, and the girls were always like super like,
Cool.
"Hey, you're in my
More
class,"
more
and
friendly
then
and
slowly they were like, "Oh,
inviting. Yeah.
these are our guy friends," and then I started meeting more guy friends because they were like, "Oh, and
Yeah.
so yeah, for a little while there, like I was hanging out with a group of like 10 girls during lunch, and it was all right because of course you're sophomore, so you're like cool girls, but then at the end of the day, you're like they're talking about stuff that I'm like, yeah, they're into like novelas and they're like talking about Mexican music and I don't even speak Spanish. And a lot of time they're speaking Spanglish and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Trying to
And I'm like,
follow.
I don't know. And then a lot of them were super into Selena. This is like a year before she passed away. So like they're talking about Selena and novelas and Maria de la
Yeah. All their
Barrio and like
favorite
all these old
things.
novelas. And I'm just like, oh. And then when they said, "Oh, this is our friend, so and so, guy friends," and I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I met more guy friends that I just ended up being friends with. Some of them to this day. But yeah, you just have to learn to transition and like, you
Yeah.
have to learn to meet people, which worked out good now because in the business that we're in, you're always
Mm-hmm.
having to meet new people, and some people have a tough time with that. But me, like I said, it's just I'll find a reason to have something in common or talk, and then one thing leads to another. But what the benefit is, like
Yeah.
every time
Get the
I go
conversation
somewhere in the
going.
valley, like sometimes I'll just run into people I know from one school or another. That's like, oh, I went to that school with that guy,
Mm-hmm.
or I know that guy from
Mm-hmm.
this school, or yeah, somebody I met for a
Someone you
little
met
while,
for
but
a
I still
season.
remember
Yeah.
them. Yeah, because I remember people like if I've seen your face before, even if you're in kindergarten, I'll remember you. And not everybody's like that. Some people don't even remember high school at all, which is crazy to me. That you'd be like, "Oh, remember high school?" They're like, "I don't remember anything from high school." I'm like, "Really? I
It
remember
was
my
a
first day of school.
blur.
Like, how do you not remember high school?" Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that paid off now, where I'm just comfortable with a one-on-one. I find a way to open up to somebody and get them to open up to me. So it's been beneficial.
Yeah.
Um,
It paid later on.
what else did I have? I think that was it. Um, Obviously, our son's going to be going in the third grade. I was going to say, what do you? I guess for people who's haven't had kids in school yet, they're kind of anxiety about how their day is going to be if they're walking around alone. But our
Mm-hmm.
son. He switched schools for first grade, right? No, second grade. Second grade. Yeah, first grade. Oh yeah,
No,
first
he
grade.
switched at
And
first grade. Yeah. Yeah. Because the
yeah,
school only
and I
went
was
up
kind of
from
like
preschool to
watching him walk
kindergarten.
around, not
Yeah.
know, and we were like, he walked to the bench and just watching other kids already playing, and we're just like, oh no, yeah, he was just
His hands in his
because we,
pocket, just
they play
observing.
for the first 20 minutes until the first bell rings, and we were just like, oh no, and I feel so bad. But then like I think before we left, he just started running around with some other kids and got started playing, and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And there was one kid that moved over with him to the new school, and
Yeah. I say that, thank the Lord for those friends. You're in a new environment, and you have that
yeah,
friend that kind of
yeah.
pulls you in, and we always tell this family, the Gomes family, their son to us is a godsend because this boy was that kind of friend,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about he's the only friend that went to school with him, preschool and kindergarten together, and then come first grade, he went to the same school. The only friend he had from previous school, and that was sweet
I
that
was
we
hoping
had
his
him
first
there.
day of school because
Yeah.
he's had tough first day of schools. Like his preschool was, where he had some tough
Preschool and
times.
kindergarten.
You know, he's an oldie child, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't have
So
other kids to bounce things off
I
of.
think
And
that's yeah,
but yeah, now he's just
yeah,
he does pretty good. Now he's just cruising for the most part.
yeah. Excited for school, but then at the same time, kind of just not sure how third grade's going to be for him.
Yeah,
But
I think
it's gonna be
everybody's
good.
like that. Like especially when you've been off school for so long, the whole break, and then you go back. Like, what do
Yeah,
I? It's like it's like when you go
back
on
to
vacation from
routines.
work, and you go back to work, and you're like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do I do that? Like you forget. Like
Mm-hmm. How
what's
do I
my
do
login?
this? How do
What's
I
my
do this again?
password? What's my job?
Passwords. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. How are you feeling about starting something new like this podcast? Because you could be a guest, but you could be a normal figure,
Yeah.
which I would prefer. But how do you feel?
Uh, exciting. Um, hopefully, we get some views out of this, and this is helpful for someone else
Yeah.
too. Helpful information for someone else. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it,
Okay.
and we'll see what it turns into.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us for 30 minutes or so. I appreciate
You.
it. Um, we're excited to kind of build this possible podcast, and we have a bunch of different topics we want to cover and talk about, or just things we could just reflect on that I think, yeah, like she said, would be beneficial to somebody else. Sometimes I think you feel like some things are unrelatable to other people. Then you hear other people talk about it, you're like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels that way, or I'm not the only one who's going through that,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of helps to put things in perspective. But hopefully, we can get some entertainment value out of it as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, thank you for hanging out with us for a little while. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we have an Instagram for the podcast, which is Open House Podcast on Instagram. So I don't know. Hopefully, by the time you guys see this, there'll be some clips. We'll say clip it and put some clips up there that you could share with people who might be interested in watching our little podcast that we got going on here. So again, yeah, follow us on Instagram at Open House Podcast. And thanks for, if you're still here, if you're still watching 30 minutes or so into this show, we appreciate
Into
it.
it. Yeah.
All right, guys, take care.
Thank you.
This will be
Appreciate you
my official
guys.
sign off for this. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. That's the sign off. All right, say bye to your people. You guys, take
Thank you
care.
guys for joining us. Have a
Bye.
great day.